Do I look sexy with my glasses on?
Or leave them off. I mean on.
Leave them on.
I can't see.
Leave them on.
Alright. Here we go. Welcome to our first attempt at a podcast, episode 1 of 4 Guys in a Chesterfield.
In case you don't know what a Chesterfield is, it's that thing they're sitting on, and there's only 2 of them sitting on it.
The name might get better. Content might get better.
It might get worse.
But
The 4 guys aren't getting any better.
yeah. Now, I'm Craig.
Zoltan.
This is...
James.
I'm Dave.
We all work at a little music shop in Baronia, Keyboard Corner and Casey's Rock Shop, where we have all kinds of good music stuff. We're going to just talk about what's going on, what we like, exciting stuff that's happening. We'll kick it off. Do you want to start with something, Dave?
I thought I did, but now I'm not so sure. Yeah, so what are we going to achieve? We're going to talk about gear. We're going to talk about maybe a bit of perspective into the retail and wholesale sector of instruments coming in. That's what I kind of want to talk about. I think there's a lot of misconceptions about manufacturing and retailing and wholesaling in Australia. Based on price versus quality, availability, all those sort of things we battle with. And the market trends of some big online people moving in. Who might that be?
Do they start with A?
They start with A.
Apple.
That's it.
Amazon.
Amazon.
Moving into Dandenong. Yes, the first warehouse down in Dandenong. So that's something we're going to be, working alongside of.
No doubt hearing about.
And
It's alright. I think we'll do it better.
Oh yeah, definitely. We just got to invest a couple of billion into a new warehouse.
Yeah.
Maybe
Buy Bunnings. Plenty of Bunnings
maybe
nearby.
buy our own courier company.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Masters are all well and truly
Yeah.
out. We'll just grab one of those.
I think we should get onto drones.
Drones.
Drone delivery.
Melbourne to Perth in
Yeah.
3 days.
That's taking off about 3 weeks.
We might need some charging stations on the way.
Yeah. What are you going to talk about, James?
I'm just a nerd, so I like talking about gear. So I'm going to talk about one of the Korg synths that I think should get more love than I've seen. It's a synth that's kind of sat on the tabletop and not really moved, and every now and then someone plays with it and goes, "Oh, that's kind of cool." And it's kind of not that it's kind of cool; it's really cool. Like it's a remake
How many
of
kinds of cool are there?
that many. Here's the full-size ARP Odyssey by Korg.
Yes.
And in conjunction with the guys from ARP who made the originals back in the 70s.
A real reissue.
Yeah, like an actual reissue working with the dudes who first developed them. So I'll be talking about that. What are you talking about, Zoltan?
I'm going to be talking about frequently asked questions and selecting the right guitar for the right person. You happen to be a beginner, maybe the top of the range Floyd Rose guitar might not suit you. It might, but I doubt it. So along the lines of, picking the right guitar for the right person. And I get asked a lot, which is the best guitar? And I always answer the same way, it's the one that sounds best to your ears.
We had a question that we kept answering with, it depends last week, didn't we, Dave?
It depends.
It depends. Everything depends.
It does.
Alright,
It always depends.
well, I'm going to kick off with some of the new products. That's keyboard products, because I am a keyboard nerd, a bit like James, not quite as nerdy.
So what we've got here is 2 keyboard guys and 2 guitar, rock shop, bass guys.
Duffers.
Continue.
He plays more than guitar. He's got claw fingers on the piano.
Chicken fingers, they call me.
Alright, this week, not even this week, 2 days ago, Yamaha have dropped a teaser on the new Genos. So I've been asked for about the last 2 years, when's the Taurus 5 been replaced? And the answer's been up until this week. No idea when Yamaha gets around to it. Well, they're teasing us all, and they've done something. They haven't told us what they've done. We've got a funny little teaser, which I'll show you guys.
So is
It's the back screen.
Is it the fact that they called it Genos instead of Taurus just make it like so much cooler all of a sudden?
Oh,
That's
that's
right.
down.
Other way,
Go
other
up.
way.
It's the keyboardless keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pair of hands,
Good looking hands.
and
It's the virtual keyboard. It's implied.
I'd be like this.
They're really not giving too much
they
away, are they?
There's nothing.
So just a little bit of lag, like between the sound
It's
and
a
the.
black screen and a pair of hands, and
Oh, I almost saw a screen then.
yeah. So
So we're selling invisible keyboards now.
yeah.
That's
So at the
That's a
moment,
new one.
I know as
Should
much
be good
as
for storage.
everyone else, and that's all I know.
yeah.
But yes, we can say that
It's got knobs.
Ooh,
It's in the-
you might
Don't know
not
what
see
that
what that
was.
message is. Yeah. So that's it.
Screen. There we go.
They've got more messages.
Ah, now they're coming through thick and fast.
So
Genos.
Genos.
We will tell you
Genos.
nothing except Genos.
Yeah.
So again, does that just make it so much cooler? Or is that just me? I just got sick of Tyros, I think.
Yeah.
Having a new name.
Sounds
Yeah.
I think
fresh.
you can get to the end of a rung of numbers.
Yeah.
I reckon. Like,
So yeah, when we've spent Tyros has had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 over now about 11 years, maybe a little bit longer. 2 years for the first 3 models.
Yep.
3 years for the Tyros 4,
I'm just
and then
saying,
4
yep.
years now on the Tyros 5. So they're well and truly due for an update.
Yeah, yeah. We saw it as well with the Motive series being replaced by Montage. Like, it's not the first time Yamaha's kind of upgraded a product line by also changing the name.
Yeah.
So.
So
But do you think that they may be going for a different demographic this time around? It's been fairly heavily in the realm of the people with money, being 40 pluses.
yeah, look, I'd still think they're going for that classic. I used to be an organ player
Yeah.
market. Hopefully.
Counts
I
me
mean,
out.
the Tyros did have this aim that, hey, we can get this on stage. They came out with a 61 and a 76.
Mm.
The trouble is, it's still an arranger. It still has that some people are going to think it's cheesy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So no matter how good the styles are, either you're using live drum samples in there or whatever it is, there's still we not that we use it here, but the old phrase "wally board."
I was going to say that.
Yeah, beat you.
Oh dear.
I think Billy Hydes could be given credit for
Yeah.
coming up with that
Yeah.
back in the day. The
Oh,
volley
dear.
board.
So
What else can they do?
I don't know. Like,
See, that's kind of my thinking. Like, the Tyros 5 was a
Mm.
pretty intense unit with so much within it that you can literally do anything with it. So where do you go from there? VR goggles?
Well, I kind of like the video. It kind of looked like a Minority Report
maybe
keyboard.
maybe it's a holographic keyboard.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cruise edition.
yeah. That'll mess with your technique.
Does anyone know?
Hey,
Oh,
this is
Aaron.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Just
Aaron's behind the camera.
Does anyone know the meaning behind the name?
I don't think it
No.
means anything.
No?
I
I
don't
think
Tyros
it's just
meaning-
one of those things
Genos,
where,
next
Genos.
gen.
you know,
You think maybe
Oxygen
it's
generation. Yeah.
something from Greek? I don't know.
Yeah.
Kronos, Tyros, Genos, they seem to like that Greek mythology thing
Os.
when naming keyboards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cross.
Cross.
Boss.
Boss.
Anyway, we can run it.
The Japanese thing.
So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully on the next one, which we will aim to do next week, we
Mm.
might have a bit more info on Yamaha's site. They're telling us we'll get another video on the 15th of September.
Sick.
Another one another couple of days later. So we'll see what happens.
Cool. What else has been announced recently?
We've Vox. Do you remember Vox?
Mm.
Well, Vox make amps.
Yeah.
Do you remember the old Vox Continental?
Oh yeah, keyboard nerds. Yeah, yeah.
So
We saw one, didn't we?
we did see one.
It wasn't working.
Not many of
Upside down,
them.
wasn't it?
It was upside down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's orange.
Yeah.
And it's going to be 61 or 73 keys. Now, what gets a bit confusing is Vox is owned by Korg. So,
Mm.
Ah, interesting.
And our local distributors don't kind of line up with that.
yeah,
Korg comes from CMI and Vox comes from Yamaha.
We'll work it out. I'm
We'll
sure.
work it out.
Yeah.
I'll work it out. Yeah.
They'll work it out.
I'll work it out.
It's not up to us.
I want to bring the reps in and see them kind
Yeah,
of
watch them fight.
fight.
I'm sure head office somewhere there's a plan.
Yeah.
But yeah, that could be an interesting organ.
Everything old is new in synthland and,
Yeah.
and keys land.
It's definitely going through that phase. Like, I mean, we've seen it just not even in kind of, you know, Korg and Yamaha and Vox kind of land, but also, you know, stuff like Dave Smith and the more boutique synthesized manufacturers like.
Yeah.
And the rise of small guys like Arturia doing their awesome software synths of the
Like
stuff.
the V collection.
Yeah.
And even like small, like really boutique manufacturers like Teenage Engineering,
Teenage Engineering.
which is
They were
pretty exciting
all
these
over,
days.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Synths were in general. It's
Have you played with the pocket operator? Oh, they're cool.
that sounds a little bit dodgy to me. No, there was some weird stuff. There was that circular one. I don't know if that was Teenage Engineering.
No.
but
No, that wasn't Teenage.
that was cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've all the guys that did it the first time around in the 80s going, what are these kids on about?
Yeah,
But
it's cool.
they're discovering it again.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so many guitar customers as well coming in buying synths just to have an extra.
Yeah.
Even bass guys.
Yeah, bass guys as well.
There's
Well, why not whip out the
more
bass
and
on
more.
stage and
Yeah.
Well, one of the guys Francis plays with has a mini synth next to him, so
Yeah.
he's playing bass lines. If a particular part comes in, winds the volume down,
does the bass on
does the
it.
bass on the
Yeah.
synth.
Well, you look at the Korg
Great
mini log.
covers when you're doing a huge cross section of
Yeah,
genres.
Yeah, like, I mean, you look at the Korg mini log and like a monophonic bass synth. I say bass synth, you can kind of do so many other synths.
Yeah.
But monophonic analog synth, the low note is an E.
Yeah.
It's not commonly seen on
Yeah, okay,
synthesizers.
so-
a lot of the time
yeah.
they run from a C upwards.
Yeah. So
But the idea of it-
Sort of,
Yeah, going like, okay, your lowest note
Yeah.
is an E. They put an E as the last note on the
Yeah.
mini log, kind of screams,
go.
oh yeah, bass synth.
Yeah.
So, so if you're a bassist and you want a synth,
And you don't play a 5-string because your lowest note is
now tell us how to get a
Yeah.
piano sound out of a reface. Let me see it.
yeah, you can actually do that. Yeah.
I don't believe it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bit
it's
too far.
secret tricks.
We keep moving around.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell them about one other thing.
Please
Well,
do.
One other brand, Korg have announced a few new models over the last week.
Yeah.
Mm.
Synthy land, well, workstation land, a Cross. So Cross has been replaced by the Cross 2.
Mm.
It looks a lot better.
Much like a screen, doesn't it? I feel like I've only seen a couple of photos
Yeah,
so far.
yeah. There's only been a
And
few.
pads,
Didn't look
Publicity.
good before.
I think.
Oh, the crosses looks a bit toyish when you
Yeah.
when you put it next,
Next
to,
to
a
the-
Chrome
or a Kronos.
or a Kronos.
The MX-60.
Or the MX. Yeah.
Exactly.
It looks, it doesn't.
The sounds are awesome, and it's so easy to like with the presets in it are presets. Ooh, I don't know.
It just looks, if you chucked it on stage, you brought your kid's toy.
Yeah, that's
to your
right.
gig.
Yeah.
So
But the sounds on it are incredible. I remember when we got the first one out, and it was like we were going through the sounds on it. It was like, you know, every single one you go, there's Van Halen, whatever.
Mm.
Yeah, easy to pick.
I can't think of all the presets now, but
Got to be able to play jump on it and you're fine.
yeah, that's right. So it's more why can't this be love sound? That's always
Yeah.
a good one
Yep.
to
but
work out.
it looks like the new thing on the Cross 2 is sampling.
Ah,
Mm. And pads as well. Like they've got drum pads. Did the Cross?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think,
I think the Cross 2 has pads.
yeah.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
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 I think so.
Yeah. So that'd be
You think
something
so?
to look out for.
Mm.
And then the PA series
PA.
Yes.
We love
yes.
PA series.
called PAs.
They're our
What a
what
staple.
is in like our speakers?
Yeah.
They've
No.
got
Personal
speakers. They've got
ranges.
speakers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What's my price,
I've
Dave?
used one.
Yes.
dear.
So PA 600
What is
and
my
PA
price?
600 QT are gone. PA 900 is gone to be replaced by PA 700 and PA
And we're
1000.
just gonna have a switch on it so you can go to quarter tone, so we don't have to stock a quarter tone equivalent.
Yeah.
That'd be
I
nice.
think they're
Makes
actually
sense.
they're actually
Yeah.
moving from the quarter tone, so there's no PA 700 quarter tone. There's a
Oh.
PA 700 OR Oriental.
Oriental. Yeah.
So that'll have your
I can't believe you're allowed to say that. It's like
from the Orient. Dude.
Yeah, I know. Too broad, bro.
Yeah.
I'm saying tropical drinks, apparently cultural misappropriation these days.
Oh.
This is why I don't talk much.
That's a lie.
Okay, that was a lot.
So yeah, there's some keyboard stuff that we'll be looking out for, and we'll be talking a bit more about when we see them.
I've also heard, just on the topic of new announcements, Native Instruments Complete Control Mark II.
Yes,
forgot about
I
that.
saw
Yeah.
that. With screens.
With screens,
Oh,
big screens.
big screens.
Yeah, so that looks really exciting.
So that's not the whole range being replaced yet.
No, is it just the
So
61 at the
61
moment?
to start
Yeah.
with, and
Yep.
then the others will be phased out
Yeah.
in and out
Mm.
over a little while. So
Yeah.
that's
Saw that a couple of days ago and was like, ooh,
Yeah.
that looks very nice.
Yeah.
Big improvements there.
yeah.
Mm.
Excellent.
So that's what I know about new keyboards coming.
Okay.
What do you know, Dave?
After all that, I think my subject might be a little bit too broad, but let's give it a go anyway.
Give it a crack.
Give it a crack. I thought, Craig springs this stuff on and says, all right, we're doing a vlog today because we don't have enough to do already. So, yeah, no preparation. He says, just think of a subject. My initial thought was Chinese manufacturing, Asian manufacturing in general, how it can be a bit polarising, particularly with guitars, where
People still ask.
I know they
Where
still
was
ask.
this made?
You don't ask where your iPhone's made.
No,
But
no.
yeah, I know there's more of a connection, but I don't want to get too heavy, but are we inherently a little bit racist or maybe a bit naive?
I think
more naive.
I think we've been educated to believe that
Yeah.
China means bad.
Yeah, but
And
it's not the case.
I mean,
And the first thing that comes into my
It
head
used to be
is,
Japan, and
It
that
used to be
Japan
Japan,
stuff
yeah.
is amazing.
I mean,
so,
Japan's been a market leader for the past, 50 years? So why the hell wouldn't China? When you look at any country with a population like that, I think I was thinking of the equation. If you could pull one outstanding luthier out of 100 people, and then how many outstanding luthiers do you pull out of 1 billion people? And the fact is, it's there. Anyway, my thoughts was there's two brands that we've put in, well, two lines that we've put in that traditionally even retailers and wholesalers are scared of, and that's a high-end Chinese-made guitar.
Yeah.
The first one being a brand called Tasman, which is developed by our good friends at Australis Music. We've been chatting with them for I think 4 or 5 years on the development of this, so it's very much designed and thought out at Australis Music, and then it's manufactured in Chinese manufacturing.
by a boutique.
By a
Chinese
boutique.
manufacturer.
So I suppose the thing is, it's not all factories are equal.
Yeah.
You got to look at a factory that pumps out 4,000 guitars a year to one that pumps out 40,000 guitars a year.
Yeah.
And
I think 4,000 is even overstating what's coming out of this.
Yeah, that's right.
Manufacturer. I could be wrong, but I think the number they told us was about a couple of hundred a month. Was it?
Yeah, that sounds about
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not supposed to say, but it is home to one of the bigger brands producing high-end acoustics. But
we're
again,
not going to say what brand.
I'm not going to say what brand, but the fact of it is the designs are made, the jigs are made for Tasman as a brand. So what does Tasman mean? It's you call it Tasman and it evokes images of Australia. It's named after Abel Tasman. It is.
Straight
Yeah.
up,
Yeah. One?
because
I'll talk first. Then
there
you go
used to
one.
be a Tasman around that was by Maton.
Yeah, okay.
So people
That's right,
asked,
yeah.
the offshore Matons
Yeah.
were branded Tasman.
Yeah, okay.
So
Disclaimer: this has nothing to do with Maton.
this
Yes.
has nothing to do
Yeah.
with Maton or even what it used to be.
So, I mean, what they set out to do is create a guitar. It's premium spec, but affordable. So, this is our favourite. This one. This is the 200, I believe.
Looks like it's a
no,
rosewood.
100.
100.
That's not our favourite.
No. Yeah, no, it is. I love this. Yeah.
We
Fisherman
love this.
pickup.
It depends.
Solid spruce top, laminate back and sides. Once you get to the 200 series, they're solid backs. More on that later. In a hard case for $699. And if I've underquoted that, then come and see me and
Yeah.
And he'll pay
something
for
else.
it.
Day's
he'll
price,
pay for
yeah.
But yeah, the entire range, and we've got parlours, dreadnoughts, all in hard cases, just representing really good value for money for someone who wants an instrument for stage and studio that isn't $2,000 because it was made in America. Basically.
And the hard case is awesome.
The
as
hard
well.
case
Like
is
I've seen a bunch of those
classy,
generic hard cases
Yeah,
that kind of
that's
come
right.
cheap. But then it's like you look at these hard cases and wow, they're just
Yeah.
actually awesome.
Yeah.
Real
What you'd
rustic.
expect
So on
from
the
a
flip-
high-end guitar.
On the
Exactly,
flip side
yeah.
of that, the other new line we've put in, which we've heard that most retailers are a bit frightened of, and we're trying to back away from that sort of mentality, is the little brand known as Fender and their series called Paramount, which is again a high-end, high-spec acoustic performance guitar in a hard case, ranging from $1,000 to $2,000.
You want me to grab one and
Please.
put that one back up? I'll pick my favourite.
And we're not playing and doing sound demos for this ourselves. I do want to do one eventually, but it's one of the limited. So Adirondack spruce, rosewood back and sides, all solid. Just the build quality and the finish. It's an American guitar. It's just made in China.
Yeah. It's a little city in China.
Yeah, America. Called America. USA, I think it's called. But that bell-like sort of quality to it, you'd close your eyes and go, yeah, I'm not playing a Chinese guitar.
Open your eyes and you're not playing a Chinese guitar.
Yeah,
Like,
that's sort of so ingrained
That
in us.
mentality
yeah,
is
even that
so
a
wrong.
Chinese guitar.
We've
Yeah.
been taught that Chinese means cheap.
Yeah.
And
But cheap doesn't necessarily mean lacking in quality.
I mean, yeah, if you've ever been to a guitar factory, they don't differ much around the world.
I have.
I know you
I've
have.
been to one in Indonesia,
You've been into Indonesia, you've been to one in
America,
San Diego,
One
and
in Mexico.
one in Mexico, and a couple in humble old little Melbourne,
Yeah,
home of Melbourne's favourite music store. But they all follow the same blueprint. I mean,
Once you're in those doors, it doesn't matter what country you're in.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The people look different. but
Yeah, the passion is the
doesn't
same. And I'd have to say that there's some American manufacturers that we see some sloppy work out of, and that's really high end. I'm not going to name names.
Let's
but
not.
Let's not. But if Bubba, is more interested in the bass he's going to catch over the weekend,
Look,
then
honestly, I had this experience not even 2 years ago. Last February, we did a recording, went into a studio. I took a Chinese guitar in. There was an American one on the wall. When we put them side by side, the American one wasn't even in the game. So it doesn't matter where it's made. It's got to sound good to your ears.
it's got to play good.
It's got to play good. It's got to feel right,
It's
and
gotta
it's got to
last as
sound
well.
right. So, and I paid not a lot of money for this guitar, and it sounded incredible, even compared to one that was very expensive. So,
And so much of it's in the
and
player
it's
as
suited,
well.
yeah, and it's got to suit
Definitely.
the material that you're putting it into. Like, it's great having an expensive guitar and put it into a song, but if it doesn't actually suit that song, and you need a cheesy sounding guitar, then your high end stuff isn't going to work.
So let's just put forward a scenario. You can be the customer, Craig.
Okay.
Here's the guitar. Play it. Yeah. These are the specs.
So it's too quiet.
Comes with a hard
It's a
case.
silent guitar from Yamaha.
and it's $899. Tasman. Oh, Australia made. Nah, mate.
No, mate.
Nah, mate. Put a couple of extra grand on there for the same spec, and you'll get an Australian. So where's it made then? China.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not the same.
Now flip that around. This keyboard feels great. Really reasonably priced. I'll take it.
Yeah, they're all made in China.
They're all made. The customer doesn't even ask a question. So yeah,
These shoes feel good. They're all made in China
There's
too.
this emotional attachment to something that's handmade, I guess, and they're all guitars, all string instruments are very much handmade still.
I find it very bizarre when some people ask me of the resale value of a guitar before they've even bought the guitar. It's like, do you want the guitar or don't you? If you're already looking at selling it, just in case little Johnny's not playing it, then you're coming into it with the wrong perspective.
I tell you what, get a time machine, go back to 2009 and just buy American.
2009? Let's go back to the 60s and just buy a whole bunch of Strats.
My time machine only goes...
He needs a...
I'm sorry, is your time machine made in China?
Yeah. I'm just trying to think in terms of, you know, of recent sort of changes in the market where, of course, you go back and buy a 56 Strat and stick it in a cryogenic freeze and whatever.
No, the thing is you'd have to play them all because they wouldn't sound any good unless you played them all.
Okay, put it in a cryogenic freeze with a stereo next to it.
Perfect.
For 50 years. But the point being fluctuations... Sorry?
Do you really want frozen?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know.
Tighten up the...
Tighten the grain.
Water wood?
No, it's a cold freeze.
Bacon.
Cold freeze, a dry freeze.
And Solo.
Yeah.
He's cold freeze.
Steve Markley.
Important question. Do you think anyone's still watching?
Probably not.
Where's the camera made?
I don't know. China.
It's made in Canon.
Go make yourself a cup of tea, it's alright.
Yeah, all right. That's my spiel, and I'm happy to talk about it at length because I do believe that their quality is quality, and people are people, and craftsmen are craftsmen. And yes, there's a big, I suppose, wage gap and cost of living and all that. But yeah, don't be afraid, people. Don't be afraid.
Pick them up, play them.
Pick them up and play them.
Don't decide you're not going to play it because of where it's made.
Let your ears decide.
Yeah.
And that's not to say anything about our local production or American guitars. It's all completely different. There's different prices. There's different structures in the wholesaling, in the retailing, in manufacture, all that sort of stuff. But find the guitar that's right for you. But don't be afraid.
Or on guitars.
More on guitars.
More on guitars.
More on guitars.
That's
I just want the Yamaha.
This is a new product from Yamaha 2 years ago, and we finally got some.
So Australian availability day, if you know.
So
This is Australia.
this is a transacoustic. Do we all know what a transacoustic is?
Is
It's
it
got
political?
nothing to do with sexuality.
It is.
I have many things to say on that, but
It is
Another
a
time.
normal guitar
is it?
with some extra normal bits.
What's
So-
it got, Craig?
It has a transducer mounted on the soundboard,
Yes.
and it has some fancy electronics that give it acoustically reverb and chorus.
Unlike a normal acoustic reverb, which is you put it in a room that
Yeah,
has the
it's
sound.
reflective.
Yeah.
So what it does is
You
switch
turn it on. It takes a little while to fire
Make
up.
sure the light's on. Batteries are flat. No,
Don't
good.
we all?
So I don't play guitar.
Oh, can you hear that?
We can.
So we actually added that in post where we're just going. So the camera filled up there and cut out.
So we are professionals.
And the guitar disappeared from Dave's hands.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Poof.
All right. So that was the transacoustic.
Yeah, that's acoustic.
Hopefully we got a bit.
Easy come, easy go.
All right. Go on. Show us your organ.
We're talking about American made.
Woo! Yeah. Okay. Everything we said about made in China is better than American. We didn't say that. Take it back. This is made in America.
Oh,
So it's got to be better than everything.
It's gonna be more expensive than everything.
Everything.
All right, so the ARP Odyssey is this in the shot? Oh, come on.
Yeah, you could put it there, Dave.
Hi.
Just squeeze up next to you.
Here, Davey.
All right, now I can serenade you all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the ARP Odyssey. It's strange. I talk to people about synthesizers, particularly analog synthesizers, customers that come into the shop, and unless they were around when these things were big, you know, if they were born during the 80s or the 90s, then a lot of them don't even know ARP exists as a company, which is funny because next to Moog, it was the big one in the 70s. And in fact, like,
But everyone knows Moog.
And everyone knows Moog. Like,
Yeah.
you come in and you say, oh, analog synth, and they go, oh yeah, Moog. So I mean, for starters, it was an interesting move for Korg to partner up with ARP. It really did bring ARP back, and maybe they saw Moog still kicking some goals. So Moog kind of started reoperating in the early thousands and came out with the Fatty range. And then most recently they've come back out with the.
So this has got a Korg related. When you said partner up.
Yeah.
Is it branded Korg?
No.
It's branded
yes
up.
and no. It's branded up.
But it comes through Korg.
But it's manufactured through Korg.
Manufactured through Korg, yeah.
Okay.
So they started off with a miniature scale. So it's an 86% scale version with mini keys. A lot of people.
And the kit one.
No, that wasn't that one. That was.
that was the
was
MS-20.
MS-20,
Yeah,
of course.
and you could assemble a full-size MS-20 with a kit, or they sold a mini-keyed MS-20 as well.
Yes. You weren't sure if it got broken in delivery or.
Yeah, that was a bit. Sending
I'd love to
those things
find one
out
of
to
those.
customers, it was
The
just a
Meccano
waiting
synth.
game to see if it came back or not.
My keyboard's in pieces.
Where do you assemble yourself, bitch?
I've broken every single component.
So I think I can put it back together though. So I think one of the difficulties with getting people into ARP is the layout is quite different.
There's a lot of knobs.
Like a music shop, really.
It's funny you say that because actually the struggle is there aren't any knobs.
Okay.
No.
It's a lot of sliders.
A lot of
lot of
sliders, a lot of
faders.
There's not a single knob on there.
Because when people think about common parameters on a synthesizer, they're thinking, okay, for starters, I've got a filter, so like the that kind of thing.
I like that.
Yeah, on most other synthesizers, there's a massive knob called. There's a massive knob called filter cutoff, or it just says cutoff. Like you look at any of the Moogs that have been released. I mean, the mini Maricated as a knob. A lot of synths have it as the largest knob on the whole synthesizer. Is it?
Sorry.
This is the guy playing it.
Look at you.
You're such a shy.
The largest one is the filter cutoff, and then people look at this and go, okay, where do I even start? Because another common spot is you've got to look for how you control the oscillators, the kind of what generates your waveform. This is an analog synth as well, and to call it even a monophonic synth is a bit of a misnomer because it's actually duophonic or paraphonic, whereas you can have a different pitch on each oscillator.
Yeah.
So if I'm only using one oscillator, I've only got one pitch, but if I have two oscillators and I play two notes, I actually get two different pitches. So let's actually just destroy the tuning on one of them.
Oh, I like it.
Both at the same time, but then if I only play one note, I've got them.
Yeah, okay. So, James.
Yeah.
Going back to the day, the synthesizer was doing exactly that, synthesizing sounds that we commonly hear.
Yeah, that's kind of a common, like where it started.
Yeah.
Yeah, back when these were kind of being made, and the practitioners that kind of propelled it, probably the main one was Herbie Hancock.
Yeah.
And guys like Joe Zawinul as well, back in the early 70s. Those are guys I know the most about, because I'm a jazz nerd.
He's the jazz nerd.
Can you make it sound cool? Do something.
I like it.
I mean, the classic Herbie.
Do some Prodigy.
Classic Herbie.
Who wouldn't want that bass on their track? It's awesome.
Fat.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Very cool.
Yeah, and the cool thing they've done on the remake of the ARP, so the ARP Odysseys went through a few different iterations. There was Mark 1, the Mark 2, Mark 3, all throughout the early 70s. Each one had a slightly different filter. One of them actually was a 4-pole ladder filter.
Is that so you'd have to buy all of them?
So it's kind of upgrading as they went and kind of trying to follow trends in synthesizers. One of their filters was kind of really Moog-like, and they got in a bit of trouble with that. But they worked it out between the two companies. But you can actually flip through might not be able to hear it too well, but this is like the first marker filter, second, third.
Yeah, okay.
So they've actually gone through and put all 3 different kinds of ARP Odyssey
So that's a global filter.
in the one unit.
Yeah, cool.
And they were specific.
So you
for
don't
each
have to
label.
buy all 3.
Yeah. So you're buying 3 ARPs in one ARP. Yeah, made in America.
3 for the price of 1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a great deal. They are pricey. Like they're around about $2,000, I think, is where they're streeting at the
I
moment.
believe that comes with a very nice carry case.
Oh, it does. Yeah. And the mini one does as well.
Yeah,
When I first saw one of those, I thought, oh, it's like an airline
Yeah.
Samsonite
Samsonite,
kind of
yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
carry case.
How much would you have paid for one in the 70s?
Oh, it's so hard to adjust for inflation and such.
Oh, it would have been ridiculous.
Yeah, when they were first coming out. I mean, the main one, this is kind of a stage version of a really famous ARP synth called the 2600, which was the voice of R2D2.
Nice one.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go. ARP 2D2.
I've never thought of that one.
Looks like
before.
someone has to go and serve a customer.
Aaron.
Zoltan, if I can grab it.
Zoltan.
Hey,
I'll
Zoltan.
be
Alright,
back.
mate.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave this noisy thing here and leave it running so I don't mess everything up.
Sure.
Alright.
Yeah, so I mean, I could talk about synths for ages. Some of the really cool things about this one, actually, a funny story about this one. People always used to leave that on, and it was really great when you had it on like a mid-range frequency, and you put the LFO in, and you made the LFO control certain things about the synthesizer. And
Yeah, now we're getting Star Trek. Spock!
Yeah.
Some!
Oh, that's not Star Trek.
And people would actually accidentally leave that on and think the synth was broken. And so I think the famous one, the keyboard player from the Crusaders, Joe Sample, I think he actually tried to return his to ARP when he got it and was like, it's broken, it's not working, like it's just making this noise.
Not like it.
Yeah. Funny story, like the shop that I used to work at a while back, when we first got the minis, the boss was just kind of playing around with it and left it on and then just had to turn it off and rang me and was like, James, I think I've broken the ARP. Come fix it.
When we first got these in, you'd get a sound and you'd play it, and then some kid will come in and he'll start doing that, and then all of a sudden it's doing nothing. You have to go get that little black and white map, and well, for someone like me, I mean, I don't know what I'm doing, so I get one of those little reference maps and fix it all back up, and then and some kid comes in and plays it, and then just doing nothing.
Yeah, there are a couple of ways to make it make absolutely no sound at all.
Turning it off.
Well, no, you can actually turn the keyboard off.
Okay.
Sorry, that's going to put a bit of...
Why do you turn the keypad off?
I'm not sure.
Obviously, I mean, you can use a remote MIDI controller for it, but
What actually is making that sound?
It's live.
that was the falafel I had for lunch, I think.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting one to use. Apparently, they were, when ARP first brought them out, they were used to kind of teach synthesis, particularly the 2600, which was a modular thing with a keyboard you could plug into it.
Yeah.
Because apparently, it made a lot of sense to kind of, oscillator, audio mixer, stuff that you're sending into the filter, stuff you're sending into the amplifier, 2 different kinds of envelopes. So the envelope's just how the sound goes. Does it fade in and then die down, or does it percussively hit and then die back? Does the filter come in quickly, or does the filter fade in?
Yeah.
A lot of that, like, it's all on the front, to the point where if you know what your patch kind of looks like, you don't need the patch remain. So you can't like call up another preset. It's kind of cool for people that like, getting back into the vintage and the boutique, or for people like me who weren't around when these things were really happening, can kind of go, oh, sweet, I really dig Herbie, dig the sounds that he was getting out of stuff. I want to go back and learn the gear, because what it was that he was playing actually affected what he played. So to try and play what he played without knowing what he played it on and being able to use what he played it on doesn't really make a lot of sense.
I just think played them a lot.
Yeah. I think it's important to realise as well that there's no presets. So when an artist was playing one of these back then, it was,
They knew what they were doing.
Well, they knew
they
what
didn't
they were
just
doing,
recall something
but
and
the key's not just the instrument. Everything's the instrument.
Yep.
You're making sound.
Yeah, that's right. So
And you're understanding how you're manipulating that
That's
sound.
right.
Yeah.
Or you just fiddling the knob.
Or you're fiddling with your knob.
Sorry, fiddling with sliders.
Sliders.
Sliders and faders.
Yeah, well,
We should
that
probably
is- that is the art.
Yeah.
keep
Cruising
cruising along.
because if anyone's still watching now, congratulations.
Yeah.
You're our longest viewer ever.
I think we should just like.
We're gonna
Your
give you
chips
a
are
code at the
burning!
end and send you a voucher for the shot.
just like time code different points, you know.
Alright, Zoltan, tell us something.
Zoltan's going to wrap up the last discussion.
Alright, I'm going to make this really quick.
Good.
Basically, a lot of people come in here, ask me what's the right guitar. There is no right or wrong answer to that. If you're tiny, a gargantuan guitar is not going to work for you. If you're really big, a really tiny guitar is not going to work for you. So you've kind of got to use your logic. And if you're a beginner, you're not going to get something that's really hard to play. If you're a professional, you already know what you want. You don't need me at all. So basically, if you're coming in, you're thinking about, little Johnny or little Jenny want a new guitar, and
Jenny and Johnny.
I recommend nylon string to start with. I got on a steel string acoustic in grade 3 when I first started playing. It hurt my fingers. I played it for 2 weeks. I put it in the cupboard for 17 years and then picked it up. You don't want little Johnny and Jenny to do that. So get them something that's easy to play.
Saying, Mum, it hurts me fingers.
Yeah, it hurts me fingers. Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. I was into. No, I more than likely would have had Kiss makeup on because I was hell bent on Kiss as a child.
I never knew that.
Well, there you go. I've
That's
got
frightening.
photos. So I'm keeping it brief. If you're little, don't be afraid to play a 3/4 size guitar. It's not necessarily for children.
No, that's right. And a lot of the finer folk, females, trying to. I'm not saying anything offensive here.
The better sex.
The better sex, the fairer sex.
Yeah. Better sex doesn't sound a bit
No.
quite right for this, does
No.
it? 4 guys on the couch.
All right, we're going to edit that a little bit.
We're going to edit that a lot.
But a lot of the time, a 3/4 size guitar will see them through to adulthood. And you can get better quality 3/4 size guitars.
And that's not limited to females either.
no,
That
it's
could
not
be
at all. It could be a smaller dude.
Look, I've had customers that are tiny. I used to have a guy that come in and goes, I need a skinny neck guitar for my wife because she's got such tiny little hands.
Yeah.
I went, isn't it cute? No, his wife came in and she had tiny little hands, like children's hands.
Wow.
And so, yeah,
Ukulele.
there is one that will suit your purposes.
No, go.
I was just going to say, the cheapest guitar isn't the best guitar either.
No.
So
Well, it's generally not the best
we
guitar.
we often get people coming in here saying, I just want to get something cheap for my kid. Don't know if they're going to stick at it. Well, if you're getting something cheap for your kid, you're not giving them a good chance.
That's right.
No, not.
And what are the statistics
Enjoy
that people who buy a guitar, they generally quit after 2 months?
Yeah, so it's something like 80% of them have given it away within a year.
Yeah, sits in the corner, looks cool, and their mate comes around and plays it, or whatever the scenario. But yeah, you give a kid a cheap guitar. I was the same as Zoltan. I got to be fair to my mum. She got me a Yamaha. It would have been 8, but the neck was too big.
Oh, that did.
It was a Yamaha Classical. The neck was too thick for an 8-year-old me, and I didn't pick up a guitar again until I was 14 and got an electric guitar. So,
Yeah.
but buy what your kid
You
wants,
can still get...
and
they'll play it.
they'll play it.
There is a difference between affordable and cheap.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Because you can get good quality guitars, well-built stuff that's affordable. Yeah, you can get guitars for sub $100. You'll get started with them, but you do all right.
If you don't know anything about them, don't guess. Because you could pick something that looks awesome on eBay or Gumtree or one of your things, and you get it home, and then you bring it into me, and I go, wow, I'm not even going to restring that because it'll fold in half. So, you know...
That's the other thing as well. When you're looking at a sub $100 guitar, which we do sell, as opposed to, say, again, a Yamaha, we've got, well, I can't say we've got proof positive, but our experience here tells us that we see a Yamaha come back that's 40 years old, perfectly serviceable, perfectly playable, pass it on to the next person. The sub $100 one, you probably get 2 years before the neck starts to move.
Or before things start maxing out, so
Yeah.
you can't adjust it anymore.
Exactly. And I'm talking about a Yamaha $150 as opposed to $90. I'd like to say as well, trust your music store. Hopefully you're near a good music store and hopefully an independent. Well, there's not many chain stores. But scope out the staff. If you feel like they're trying to rip you off, then
Unsure, take a photo.
but yeah,
Bring in the thing. Do you think this is worth this much?
yeah.
You know.
But I'm also just go in and talk to the staff, and if you get, and most of the time, we're just musicians working in places like this, and we don't want to sell you something inferior. We want to sell you the right instrument for you, and that's kind of the skill
Because there's
set
a
we
good
learn.
chance we might see you at the gig Friday night. Well, he won't.
But anyway, yeah, a little bit of trust, because it's a minefield. We've got so many
Yeah, I
guitars
can
hanging
see-
on the wall
I under-
just in this one room, and it's intimidating for everyone. But I always say, not everyone can be an expert on everything. If I decided I wanted to get a motorbike, I'll do a bit of research, but at the end of the day, you're going to go talk to someone who knows stuff about motorbikes.
You want the guy that's selling them every day
Yeah,
to
the
say,
guy
yeah,
riding them
this
every day,
particular
yeah.
model, not real good, or
Yeah.
hasn't done well, keeps coming back. Yeah, definitely.
Do you reckon we've bored people enough?
I reckon so.
I think we're going to do some pretty heavy editing to make it interesting.
Yeah. I think anyone who stayed all the way through
Is a
all the more stupid
legend.
to watch it.
Yeah. But they can say that they saw the first episode.
That's right.
The first train
Remember,
wreck.
you'll never see it
Cases.
again.
Episode 1.
It's only once. Only. What do you say? I don't know. You can only have your first time once.
All right, I think that we're going to pretty much wrap it up
If you
on
do want
that.
to hang around, we're going to show you one other thing. Yamaha, a couple of months back, Yamaha took us into a dark room in the belly of the beast.
They haven't been the same
We had to
since.
sign a non-disclosure agreement before we went in there. Do you think that's still valid, or now that it's released, are we allowed to talk about it?
I think we're allowed to talk about it.
That's good.
Did you read the fine print?
Who reads the fine print?
Musicians.
I didn't sign anything.
I didn't have my glasses on, so.
Well, anyway, they have released a new series of pianos. So, at the moment, well,
Digital pianos.
digital pianos, yes. So, they had CLP models, which were essentially piano replacements, and they had CVP models, which had this full Star Trek dashboard in it.
A Ranger and a digital piano
Yeah.
kind of conjoined.
So what they've done now is they have released the CSP, which is a hybrid of the two. So it
What does
looks
S stand for?
versatile.
Perfect.
Boom! If you get that joke, you're a nerd! Anyway.
But the CSP looks like a CLP, but it hooks up to an iPad and becomes a CVP essentially.
We've been reduced to just letters.
So me and James are going to show you quickly what that does.
Alright.
So CJ and JW.
And that's it for Dave and Zoltan.
See you later. Oh, what I'm doing.
Alright. So we are now at the CSP. You are recording, aren't you? Yeah, okay. So we're now at the CSP150. So this is the first model of the two. Just looks like a CLP model at the moment. We've got a sliding lid on it. You got the traditional Yamaha cabinet. The iPad doesn't come with it. This is just sitting in a fancy frame on there. At the moment, it's just set up as a piano. It's as easy as sliding through the pianos on the app to get through different sounds. So piano sounds nice. That's a Yamaha concert grand, CFX concert grand that they've sampled. You've got a nice Bosendorfer in there. Okay. You've got Yamaha upright, the Yamaha upright sound that we all love so much on the uprights. You've then got the broad range of sounds that are in the higher end clavinovers, so from the CVP. So if we go into voice here, tap on the piano, down the left-hand side, you've got all the groups, and then you've got all the sounds within those groups. So if we wanted to go to guitars, so you scroll across the top then, electric guitars. Now let's say a bright chorus. Got some strings. Let's go to a string ensemble. That's not a string ensemble. So the sound's in it at top notch. Let's have a trumpet. So really good stuff in there. You've also then got the whole accompaniment system. So we can go into styles and choose out, again, from the groups along the top, and then subcategories along down the left hand side, then subcategories across the top, and then all your styles that fit into that subcategory run down the list. So let's go to some 70s piano hit. Select that out. Synchro start. So now as soon as I play a chord, it's going to start the accompaniment up. I did it again. We want to choose a piano to go with that first. Voice, piano, that'll do, and then we go back to the style. Four variations on the board in there as well. You can change. So it'll do a little fill at the end of it. You can change various configurations within that as well. So you've got mixer controls, so you can drop parts in and out. So if you're playing with a bass player, you can drop the bass part out. You can change the sounds that they're using as well. You've then got the fun bit, an inbuilt library of songs, where you can have it just play a song for you. Not in the key I know it in, but you get the music on the top. The keyboard shows you the notes that it's playing, so you can actually try and follow it. This song is going to be a little difficult to try and follow. It's not your beginner song, but you can play along with it there. You can transpose it. So as I just said, that's not in the key that I normally play this in. So I can bring the key up. Oh, I want it up 2. So now it's in the key that I'd normally play this song. The score there, you can turn the piano part off, so if you want to play along with it, you can play the melody part. You can change it so it's just displaying the chord progression. So you can have a lot of fun with the songs that are built into it. It also has the ability, being on an iPad, it's connected with iTunes, it can load your iTunes library in and work out a chord progression from any song that's in your iTunes library. And from that, you can then convert it into a sequence, essentially, that you can set styles and it'll follow you. You can play your right hand part while it plays the chord progression and stuff like that. For any song that you can load in iTunes, you can do that with. I'll just play something else on the piano just to give you a bit more of an idea. great sounding piano, great feeling piano. This is the GH3 action. So in the CSP150, that's the action that you have. When you go up to the CSP170, you have the GH3 with the wooden hammers or wooden keys on there as well. Your other difference when you get to the CSP170 is that you have a better speaker and amplifier system. So yeah, they're both great models and priced really well. Drop in and have a listen, have a look, or any other music store if you're not near us. Ta.